Up.
All right, so Kiosk Kitchen, what we're doing is we are changing the way that people think about what they eat and where they get it from. And we're trying to do that by providing chef-prepared, nutritious meals from an innovative dining kiosk. So during today's presentation, I'm going to do my best to outline several different things about what the idea behind Kiosk Kitchen is and the stellar team that's making it happen. But my hope is, outside of all of the business stuff, what I want to convey is why this solution is so much bigger than just serving meals, and why it's my mission and purpose to serve and make an impact, not only here in Florida, but in communities across the country. So I've been extremely fortunate to find myself on a path of developing and creating this solution and the offerings or the food that go into it. And I've been joined rather serendipitously with the people and purpose to make this dream a reality. My name's AJ Lambden. I've been a well-seasoned chef and entrepreneur for about 20 years, kind of extensive knowledge of food and nutritional sciences. And I've really just been committed to pioneering the creation of meals with a purpose. That purpose is to provide intrinsic value to our communities through good, healthy food. Now, with my experience in food service and industry knowledge, I've kind of paired that with our growing team's experience, and we believe that's the perfect recipe to make Kiosk Kitchen a trusted and reliable source in quality food solutions. We have a vast amount of experience through a myriad of different industries, and our team doesn't just consist of the people that you see here. Between the machine development, software and digital management team, and all the other facets, we have a rough total of about 30 professionals working towards building a world-class platform and service, all of whom believe in our company's mission and are aligned with our guiding principles. And I'll speak to those just a little bit here. So I like to call them our commitment pillars. We operate on very important principles that are kind of the core of everything that we do. Every decision that we make, and they all serve one purpose, and that's to be of service to our community in a few different ways. The first one is through providing delicious quality options, not crap, that are healthy. We want to give back to the community through our business model. This is one of the most important things. And for that, for every 3 meals sold, we give a nutritious quality meal back to our local community. And then by being sustainable and environmentally conscious across all of the facets of our business. So we utilize waste-free kitchen modeling, compostable packaging, alternative refrigerants in the kiosks themselves. And then I think one thing that we speak to is that most importantly for us, what we're starting to do is we're creating a culture within kiosks that promotes integrity, transparency, and open-mindedness. Kind of switching gears here, I'd like to speak to the industry that we plan to disrupt and why our solution is needed more than you may even realize, and also tell you a little bit more about what we do best. So we all know the headaches shown here: costly delivery fees and wait times, not to mention subpar quality, lengthy contracts and pricey subscriptions. I'm sure everyone's familiar with those, or even just our favorite restaurants closing due to staffing issues. And honestly, convenient options these days, they simply come at the mere cost of our health. These options are not sustainable for the health and wellness of our communities. But if we had a better way to feed ourselves and our families with nutritious food, I think everyone would agree that's something that we need right now. So imagine getting a delicious, hot, healthy meal packed with nutrition any time of the day or night. No matter your schedule, we're open. How many of you would love to be able to feed your family in just 2.5 minutes? Our meals target a few different dietary ranges, from traditional, keto, paleo, vegan, and vegetarian. And then we do also offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free options. And our research and testing we've been conducting now for about 11 months, we've received great feedback and people are loving these meals. We're currently working towards a prototype of the first platform over the next coming months, and are currently also securing patents for several pieces of technology and critical processes. As you can see here, consumers want a solution like Kiosk Kitchen. We differ ourselves from the earlier described options by focusing on 6 key factors. Those are affordability, convenience, nutrition, by being able to provide a dining kiosk that is not only autonomous, but also app-based when it comes to the customer platform and the UI. And lastly, it's important that we use our business responsibly to affect change in our communities. We want to catalyze this. We believe that we can be a part of that social impact that we really want to see. So outside of our business model, which you can see here in our current realized revenue segments, we have goals to target both the public as well as the private sector. Our partnerships allow us to have a very strategic inroad to the government. We've seen interest from NASA, the DLA, and we're looking to expand on other utilizations as we begin our deliverable stage. So we would utilize these machines and have already had discussions in supplementing military dining facilities or DFACs with these kiosks. And I can speak to more of that after in the Q&A. So this is an example of some of our perceived locations and where we feel that they will do really, really well based off of our research. So corporate offices and co-shared workspaces, bus, train, and plane terminals, school campuses, apartment complexes, gym franchises, and those deskless, what we call millennial stay hotels. So as far as our launch strategy goes, we know that in order to best position ourselves, we need to continue conducting more market research, and we have technology built on board that's going to allow us to adapt and pivot very quickly through optical devices that actually give us forecasted market demographic, traffic, and engagement. So as far as our execution roadmap, our main goal out of all of this is to be in a full commercialization stage by Q2 of 2023. There obviously are a lot of different facets that go into this, but the first goal is to have that pilot launch go to market Q3 of 2022.
AJ, you're down to 1 minute.
And in summary, to speak to the points that you see on your screen there, we really do feel that, we can be ambassadors for that change that we wish to see. And we hope to build that into not only a local community, but be catalysts for metropolitan areas across the United States. We really do also feel that, people and the technology are our greatest assets, and we look to leverage those in any and all ways that we can to get the greatest exposure. And then, just aligning ourselves with the people, places, and purpose that are going to allow us to achieve this mission, because it really is purpose-driven performance for us. And we want to do that through just the execution of superior products, superior offerings, and just that customer-centric business model. We want to just make this something that one day, 3 years from now, somebody's like, you haven't tried Kiosk Kitchen? How? Let's go. So with that, I want to thank you all very much for your time this morning. I really just want to help everyone else to understand what we're trying to do. And I thank you guys for helping me embolden the vision of Kiosk Kitchen. And, we ask you to just, take a second now, follow us on social media so you don't miss what's going on. And with that, 1 Million Cups Orlando, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I've got a bunch of notes, but I think Rod has some stuff he wants to share. And Rod, I think maybe you ought to unmute and share some of your thoughts, because I think we're kind of thinking the same way regarding the presentation.
There's a lot of information to go into this, and I do recognize we're kind of
it was a
through there. So
there was a lot. One of the things when you do a presentation like this and you've only got 5 or 6 minutes is that you've got to carry us on a journey. And one of the biggest challenges that a new entrepreneur faces with, especially where you're at, where you got a tiger by the tail, which I can see what you feel, is that you feel like you're the hero, and you're not. Your company is a servant. Your company is a provider of services, and you are sitting here building your team up. You didn't even tell us about the problem until 3 minutes into the presentation. And you can't do that. You've got to lead with that. And you've got to take us on a journey to where we understand what you've got to reach us into our heart and figure out, okay, you're going to go after, who is it? I still don't understand who your target market is, because that slide that you had on there had so much information I couldn't read it. It was just too fast. And so your slides need to have at the most like 10 or 20 to 30 words tops. You can't have a slide with 200 words on it. It's just too much. If you have quadrants on a slide, leave the headings. Don't put the details. You're here for the details. But once again, you are needing to carry us on a journey. What is the problem? What do I, as your ideal client, and you've got to identify who your ideal client is. what do I, as your ideal client, what problems am I facing? Who are my enemies? Who's triggering me? Who's my antagonist? What are the events that are causing me to trip all over myself and fall into a pit of despair, so that you can take me to the promised land and go, oh, and all of a sudden you have solved world hunger and created world peace for me. So
100%. So let's start there. AJ, can you, who specifically are you talking to? Who is that ideal client? And not everyone, obviously everyone eats, but who specifically are you looking to reach?
So essentially what we're looking for is we're trying to be in that revenue segment of busy professionals, people that are constantly on the go, parents of multiple children. But the goal is to be.
Who is your ideal client? That's too big. Too big.
Our ideal client is 25 to 45, median income of about 50,000.
Well, you're a kiosk though.
Correct.
Okay, where are you going to put your kiosk? Who's your ideal client? Where are you going to buy space?
I don't know if you can see my screen, but in the appendix here, I put up some partnership and use case examples so that you can kind of see where we're looking to utilize these platforms. We're essentially looking to be a 24/7 in the marketplace solution to hot, ready, nutritionist sculpted meals.
Okay, so one sentence, who is your ideal client? One sentence.
Our ideal clients would be busy professionals who are strapped for time.
No, because that's not who you're selling to. You're selling to a gym. That's who your client is. Your client's not a busy professional. Whoever's going to pay you the money to give you the space is your client. You're going to then have customers that will service that, but your client is the people that you actually have to get you to put your kiosk there. So you've got to really find this.
Yeah, that's great feedback. I think it's a little more complex than that. And truthfully, 6 minutes is a really tight amount of time to explain all of the facets. I really do, obviously appreciate all of the facets for which, being able to directly and concisely express that. I 100% agree, but if we were just targeting gyms or we were just targeting airports, I think it would be very simple and easy to direct that messaging. But I think at the end of the day, there's a B2B side and a B2C side, and we're still we're really just trying to find a way to refine that messaging to get it to a point where, because we're not just selling the kiosks.
Well, I agree. I lived in a business where I actually had a B2C product, but I had to sell it in a B2B world. Okay, so I did that for 20 years. I sold 65 million pieces of my product to that market. And
perfect.
So what you've got to do is you have to have extreme clarity. Okay. One sentence, what your B2B play is. One sentence, what your B2C play is. Okay. Without extreme clarity, investors will not give you time, because I'm assuming that you're going to go out and try to get money for this. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We're in a seed stage currently, actually. Okay.
You have to have that kind of clarity to get those answers. And I'm going to back off so that everybody else can ask their questions. Sorry, I'm taking too much time.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Rod.
Great feedback.
Maybe you two should connect also.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Rupert says, if you'd like to build your relationship with NASA, contact Rollins College. They have a long-term partnership with them for the benefit of small businesses. So
absolutely. Love to connect with any and everyone. Yes, please.
Yep. He also says it's good to know where your opportunities lay. However, if you don't focus on a particular target market, so you'll be wasting resources chasing purple squirrels, as he says. So yeah, I
understood.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I also saw you mentioned your differentiators being affordable, convenient, nutritious. Those, the first thing that popped in my head, honestly, is Subway. And I know they're not nutritious at all. However, they say they are. And I think there needs to be another facet there. Otherwise, it just sounds like, how do you defend against like a Subway coming in and doing something like this? Or how do you defend against someone who's got a little more of the critical mass to come in and say, hey, great idea.
If you will. Yeah. So the whole goal here is to be, I think this is something that we've actually been talking about as of recently, and it's, how do we convey the message that these are comparable to a restaurant quality dish, and really focus on that kind of chef prepared, but also, nutritionist sculpted. So these meals were actually designed out of athlete-based meal prep. So these were actually sculpted and macroed out for professional athletes. So we had a really good following. We were working with the Baltimore Ravens, we were working with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then COVID hit, and we had to figure out where we could put all of these time and resources to make this a solution that was available to everyone. So, we're still refining. This is 11 months in here, but I think to answer your question, everyone knows Subway is packed full of a lot of different things. We're all organic. We are probably 80% locally sourced and also locally prepared. So I think being able to focus on the facets of what those key differentiating factors are of, like I said, locally sourced, locally prepared, chef inspired, comparable to restaurant quality, hot and ready. I think, and then, like I said, in 2.5 minutes, I can feed a family of 4. I don't know who wouldn't, want to be able to have the ability to provide proper nutrition to their family in the blink of an eye. So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind
And
of
I
where
think
we
you have
lie
something with
now.
chef, by the way. I think you have something there with the chef, because your target market, well, let's just, for what you have currently, is 25 to 45, busy professionals, people with families. Chef is not in their vocabulary because they're like, I can't afford a chef. Who the hell can afford a chef? Chef sounds fancy.
Right.
Maybe you can bridge that. You deserve a chef and you can afford one. Or, maybe there's
Okay.
something there that I think if you just add that extra flavor, let's say, into it,
Yeah.
that might make a big difference.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
So so Scott also mentions, defining the single avatar. So just make sure you get these notes.
Yeah, defining that single customer avatar to really be more
Yeah.
concise. So yeah, I agree.
Eric has a question. How do people get the food? Is this like a vending machine? Do I have to drive up to the kiosk to pick it up? Is it a walk by? Can you go into a little more detail about the actual delivery of the food?
Absolutely. So it is an intelligent vending machine. It's far superior to anything that's currently available. I know some people have probably seen technology like this in like Singapore and over in Asia, that will heat the food for you. But what makes ours different is a few different things. One, we are the only model that's out currently that's able to serve more than 2 meals at one sitting. So essentially, this is an in the marketplace solution you would approach and walk up to, and then also you could search from your phone through the app-based platform, find a kiosk in your local area, reserve a meal up to 1 hour ahead of time after seeing what the full selection of availability is, and then you would just have to approach the kiosk through your smart payment or QR scan, whichever method you choose. It would then either heat the meal up for you in 2.5 minutes, or you can take it cold and heat it up at your choice.
Okay, that makes sense.
I hope I answered that question. I know it's
Yeah, I think so. Can you go a little more into your business model? Is this who's paying you? Obviously, the end consumer is buying the meal, and then like Rod said, you've got are people leasing these machines? Like, talk a little more how you make money. I suppose. Is there advertising involved here on your machines or something? Or
yes. So that's kind of where all of the different verticals come in. So there is a mild level of complexity with it, but we do have advertising revenue. We also have the locational revenue from spots like the gyms and the facilities that actually want to pay that monthly due, if you will, to house the machines, to offer more in their amenities packages. But then we have just in the metropolitan models that are in the marketplace that simply just do B2C revenue streams through the offerings themselves, through the food. So
okay, so you got a lot of different things there, which is good. Tim Ricky has a question. Have you produced videos to show preparing meals, or maybe even broader, like marketing? Do you have marketing materials, like things that are going to show how this process works? And
absolutely, yeah. So we've been kind of just poising currently through the last 11 months, getting everything in stages, but we're actually getting ready to kind of start doing a little bit of pre-marketing. So we're going to be activating some of the food facets and getting that out into the marketplace, starting to really pull in some video testimonials, showing the journey of the food from preparation through packaging all the way to the machines, and then essentially walking the customer through that journey from start to finish to consumption. So we're currently in the stages of putting all of that together and look to have some of that available within the coming month.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, Ruber says you're a food vending business, so pick a target market where you can laser focus on and get the cash flow and then go from there. And Rod mentions the video screen on your machine would be great for business.
Absolutely. Yeah, we actually have two of them. One of them is a large kind of modular LED panel. It's essentially like a 60-inch flat screen, if you will. So that's going to be utilized for not only engagement with the ambient lighting on the machine, but when somebody actually looks at the machine, they're going to be greeted by a digital chef, if you will, saying, "Hi, welcome to Kiosk Kitchen. What can I prepare for you today?" So we're trying to make it this very personable and different experience without kind of being creepy, if you will. But we do have another screen that'll allow them to scroll through the selections, and then once their selection has been made, that's when we'll be able to have the opportunity for advertising revenue, local marketing opportunities, so on.
Okay. And who's your closest competition? You know, maybe it was in one of your slides, just went kind of fast, but who's the closest? Anyone along the same kind of line? Because it doesn't seem like there's anything revolutionary here as far as technology or any like trade secret you have. It's cool. It just seems like it might be duplicatable, or there might be some other people trying to, run alongside of you. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. So we do actually have about 6 different processes and patents that we're securing right now that are defensible. We're doing a couple processes that there aren't anyone else really doing. We're incorporating some technology into the machines in the form of optical devices that allow us to get a lot more data and market information as far as that capture goes. There's 2 main competitors currently, one of which is a company called QM out of northern Georgia that's doing kind of chefs around the world, or a global inspired cuisine. They're serving, I believe it's 1 or 2 offerings at one point. And then there's also a company called Yokai Express, which is out of California. They're strictly ramen. They are gaining a lot of traction. They're a very good offering, but I feel like their niche is very limited in the amount of times that users are going to engage the platform throughout the course of a week or a month. I don't know about you guys. I absolutely love ramen, but I'm not going to eat it 3 times a week. With ours, we have breakfast options, we have lunch options, we have dinner options. We have something that can fit the bill, for 4 to 5 meals a week. So we believe that sets us apart. The quality of our offerings sets us apart. The approachability of the platforms will set us apart. And then again, just the quality of everything in tune throughout is what's going to allow us to be successful.
Cool. Yeah. Forgive me for assuming there wasn't IP here.
No, that's okay.
It's just amazing where people can find really cool IP. All right. Eric says, and I think you'll agree with this, it sounds like this would be a system that would do well in a place where people already are. He's saying he would not travel someplace to go get a meal from your system, but if he's already there, then it makes sense. And I'm sure you've already probably thought about that with some of the locations that you're talking about putting this into.
Yep. And then the other thing too is that we want to kind of utilize this platform at some point to kind of be a sustainable non-retail space for other food serving companies or other meal prep companies that are looking to be able to have more retail outlets but can't incur the cost of a brick and mortar space. So we want to kind of white label it at some point once we've gained more traction. But yeah, these are platforms that we want to be in the marketplace and kind of be in the base of a high occupancy hotel, or the lobby of an amenity based apartment complex, or a large corporate building. Because the other great thing about this is, because these are USDA certified, because these are nutritionist sculpted, large corporations will actually get an incentive back at the end of the year on their wellness plans because they're offering nutritious meals to their employees. So there's a lot of different ways that we can, offer this, but yes, I agree. in places where people
Apartment
already
and,
are.
and corporate for sure. Hotels might have an issue with you selling food, but second to last
Only the
question.
ones that don't have food and beverage options, because there
True,
are
of
quite a
course.
few of those now.
Second to last question. What is the approximate cost per meal with what you're offering?
The breakfast options are $10. The traditional keto paleo options are $12. They range in size from 11.5 ounces to 14 ounces for the regular meal options, and the breakfast options can range anywhere from 8 to 11.
Awesome. All right, that's our time. So I'm going to send it back to Eric for our final and very, very important question.
All right, thank you. And thank you, AJ. So the
Thank you.
final question is, what can we as a community do for you?
So what we're looking for right now is coordinations, partnerships, and suggested locations. If there's somewhere in your community or someone in your community that you think that we should talk to, create a partnership with, or even just, open a dialogue with, please, we ask that you have them reach out to us, or we recommend, following us on social media, reach out to us through any of our channels. What we're really trying to do is we're just trying to build the community of awareness. So we want everyone to know that this option is coming to the marketplace. We want to create those relationships that are going to allow us to continue to bring this solution to areas around the state of Florida. We want to really increase that traction, if you will. So anyone that that may be interested to coordinate or collaborate with us, or any locations that you think this would be a great solution for.
All right, great.